the airport. You got to move to the left a little earlier or wait in some extra backups. No delays at the south end of the valley, though, on I-15. SR 201, heavy in Magna, but that's about it as you cross the valley on the 21st South Freeway. Heather?
The earlier crash we had, southbound 15 near 600 North, cleared a little while ago, and that was the only problem that we had through Weber and Davis County. So right now, everyone's traveling at speed on I-15, US 89, Legacy Parkway. Some of the city streets might have a little bit of congestion at traffic lights, but that's it. Eric?
Some more people out on the road, so you are seeing more slowdowns. For instance, northbound on the 215 eastbound as you make the turn to go westbound on I-80. That's down to one lane, and right at the moment, you've got some slowing because of that. Northbound Foothill Drive also slowing up a little bit, heading up towards the University of Utah. Down in Utah County, I-15 continues to run at a good pace, northbound and southbound. Keep your allergies under control this spring with Rentmeister. Call 801-773-6900 and mention KSL for a free indoor air quality consultation. Visit us at rentmeister.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL Pollen Report. The weeds and shrubs are in the high for today, folks. So if you're wheezing and sneezing, it's likely that. Trees are in the moderate to low. Same with mold. But the dust continues to get kicked up by these daily storms. That will also be an allergen. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
The Pollen Report this morning is brought to you by Rentmeister Total Home Services. And right now in Salt Lake City with the sunshine downtown, it is 59 degrees. Had a chance earlier this morning, as we always do on Friday, to talk with ABC News political director Rick Klein. And of course, the main topic was the indictment of former President Trump. The question: will it derail a presidential campaign? We'll share with you some of what Rick had to say earlier here, coming up in a minute at 102.7 FM and 1160 AM. Thanks for riding along this morning with Utah's Morning News and your all-day companion for news.
If you've got a honey-do list with electrical, plumbing, heating, or air conditioning projects on it, Any Hour Services can help. Call Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air. anyhourservices.com.
You heard the call of spring and went to town planning your yard and garden. Everything's in, not too shabby, but you still could use a little help. After all, when you dress things up, it's the little things that zero in on the oohs and ahs, like a nice top dress. No, not the one with those expensive shoes in your closet. Top dress as in compost, bark mulch, and decorative rock for your just about beautiful yard. Oh, and by the way, with 2 to 3 inches of that covering, you help keep the weeds out, save water, and keep the plants cooler. So how do you put those finishing touches together? You call the Dirt Bag. The Dirt Bag makes dressing up your yard so much easier. They'll deliver your bag of bark, mulch, or decorative rock right to your driveway. They'll also deliver loose product in bulk. Or you can pick it up if you like just west of Mountain View Corridor at 6054 West, 9790 South in West Jordan. This is one Dirt Bag you'll love. It helps save you money and time. Order your bag now at thedirtbag.com. That's thedirtbag.com.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News is brought to you by the Dirt Bag for your garden projects, garden soil, decorative rock, and more, delivered right to your door.
Diet Coke is not good for you. They suck the sugar out of Coca-Cola, sweeten it up with aspartame, and shoot in some extra caffeine. Yes, a 12-ounce Diet Coke has an extra 11 milligrams of caffeine, making it just like half a cup of coffee. Scientists say the artificial sweetener gives a brief burst of dopamine, but less than you get from sugar, so you want more and more. The New York Times reports lab rats forced to choose between saccharin and cocaine chose the saccharin 94% of the time. Are you hearing this? Rats addicted to cocaine prefer artificial sweetener. Diet Coke is bad, and it's hard to kick, but if you do, maybe you'll be in the NBA Finals.
Jokic has to put it up. Falling away, puts it up. Bang!
Nikola Jokic is a 6'11", 210-pound behemoth who tore up the floor in Game 3 the other night. He's easily the most effective player in basketball, and for the first 3 years of his career in Denver, Jokic drank 3 liters of Diet Coke every day. That's a 2-liter bottle and another half bottle, even sneaking slurps to satisfy his desire in the locker room at halftime. More. But in 2017, Jokic decided to quit Diet Coke cold turkey. He claims that it was easy after he stopped filling his 6'11" body with the fizz, caffeine, and fake sugar. Jokic says he felt better and got better at basketball to the point where he's now at the pinnacle of his career in the finals, and if the Nuggets win, he gets to raise a glass in celebration.
Bang! Nikola Jokic!
But that glass won't be filled with Diet Coke.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Yeah, some of those pictures a few years ago of Jokic, and particularly when he was, a budding teen, almost unrecognizable. Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News is back this afternoon starting at 3 o'clock. KSL News Time, 7:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
you can still switch political parties ahead of this year's special election to replace Chris Stewart, at least until a new law is written next Wednesday that will update that. I'm KSL News Radio's Lindsay Ertz.
Second, heavy snowpack and lots of thunderstorms means there will be a lot of tall grasses this summer, and that has firefighters a little concerned. Third, let's see what the drive looks like with traffic and weather together.
Slowdowns I-15 right around 33rd South, and then a bunch of delays on the 6 South exit and backing onto the main flow because of lane restrictions down to 6 South in downtown. South 15, though, still holding up pretty well. Ogden to Salt Lake on the main flow of the freeway. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
A chance for scattered storms over the next 7, and the temperatures move a little too. I'm Matt Johnson.
We are up a little bit now, 59 in Salt Lake City with KSL's top national stories.
Another development in the federal indictment against former President Trump over his classified document scandal. ABC News learning Trump is on tape from 2021 admitting to taking top secret materials and being unable to declassify them since he was no longer in office.
We're talking about very serious charges in multiple directions and an all-encompassing investigation that really run the gamut of the retention of the documents as well as attempts to obstruct efforts to, alleged attempts to try to obstruct efforts to get them back, lying to people along the way about it.
ABC's Rick Klein, Trump and his attorney both say he's innocent, but what happens if he's reelected?
He would certainly, I think either pardon himself, get the Justice Department to drop the case and announce that he's going to be released from prison. Remember, these are the federal charges here, where when you're president of the United States, you have a lot of control over what happens. So I expect he's going to slow roll this case and try to move it till after the election.
ABC's Dan Abrams. I'm Derek Dennis. ABC News.
You heard ABC News political director Rick Klein in that report, but he joined me earlier this morning, and we talked about these charges that Trump is facing. And Rick says there's no law banning the Trump campaign from moving forward.
There's nothing in the Constitution or federal law that prevents him from running or even being elected from inside a prison cell. It's wild to contemplate. It's never happened with a major party contender before. Certainly in modern times, we've had nothing that's even close to an equivalent. And you're right. In low level, you can't really separate this from the legalities of this, given the fact that we're talking about the leading Republican candidate for president, and we are already in the middle of a campaign.
The closest thing to this, I guess, you got to go back 100 years or so.
That's right. You got to go back to the socialist candidate for president in 1920, Eugene Debs, who was serving a prison sentence at the time for urging people to duck the draft. He got almost 1 million votes, about 3% of the vote. Even though he was in prison the whole time. Didn't come close to winning, but that's still a pretty significant chunk, and I think just gives you some sense of a little bit of the turmoil ahead.
This would be historic, if it was any former president, but the fact that we have one that is running for a second term and is also the lead candidate for his party leading into a primary season, what's the constitutional side of this, the dangers involved, or are there in your mind?
Well, I think that the dangers, obviously, of looking like the former president or candidate for president is under prosecution by the next administration are real. The flip side of those dangers, though, is running for president is not a get out of jail free card. We like to say that no one's above the law. So if these are crimes that would put other people in legal jeopardy, I can't imagine a precedent that we'd want to have in this country that would say no, because you ran before, because you're running again, you can't face this. It's a testament to the durability of the country's the legal system that this hasn't happened before. But, precedents remain to be broken, and certainly this one's being smashed as we speak.
The next big thing, of course, will be Tuesday when former President Trump has to appear at the federal courthouse in Miami. That's scheduled to happen with what they're calling a talking indictment, meaning that they are going to be sharing everything in an effort for transparency to the public, and it should happen around 1 o'clock our time on Tuesday, so we'll have coverage of it for you here on KSL News Radio. That's the In-Depth at 15 and 45, and at 7:49, it's Traffic and Weather Together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's High-Yield Savings Certificates. Andy Farnsworth is in the traffic center.
Well, Tim, if you're on I-15 northbound right now, the delays into downtown are coming a couple of spots. You've got some heavy traffic from 45th South up past 33rd, and then downtown itself. Lane restrictions on 600 South have backed up onto the exit ramp from I-15, which is now backed onto the main flow, which is now backing up down towards 1300 South. So to exit into downtown, you may want to grab that collector and exit at 13th or 9th South if you have the chance right now. Coming out of Tooele, I-80 all clear, Lake Point to the airport, SR 201 just a little bit heavy in Magna. Heather?
We're seeing a bit of congestion now on US 89 right at the ramps to I-84 in South Weber. It's not backed up a huge amount, but we do have construction in the area, so that could change as the commute wears on. Southbound I-15, though, you're still 30 minutes or less from Ogden to Salt Lake on I-15. Eric?
Crash westbound I-80 at Parley Summit, and this is blocking off at least a couple of right lanes. Traffic is squeezing by on the left, and we are seeing some backups heading through that area. That might get worse before it gets better. If you're on US 40, we do have some construction-related northbound slowing from Jordanelle Reservoir up to the turnoff to go on to 248. That's Kearns Boulevard. I-15 Utah County northbound, southbound. That's actually looking good this morning. Stop by your locally owned and operated Big O Tires for big summer savings on tires. And don't forget, Big O also does oil changes, alignment, shocks, batteries, and more. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Time now for the 7-day forecast, brought to you by Performance Automotive. Bountiful Matt's here. It seems like every time we extend this out another day, I keep thinking maybe some sunshine will appear without lightning bolts and raindrops, but that's not happening.
No, the icons are on repeat right now. We've got a chance for storms today, just an isolated one, high of 82. 83 tomorrow, another slight chance for a storm, but it's still there. And then we resume higher chances for some thunderstorm activity Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, it's just the only thing that changes here is the temperatures, and it's not by much. Mid-80s, upper 70s. That's kind of all we got.
What you see is what you got.
Yep.
All right, have a good weekend, Matt. Thank you. Right now in Salt Lake City, partly cloudy. The sun just popped out again. It's 59 degrees in Salt Lake. We'll see how the markets are faring coming up here in just a minute. We normally have a hard, strict rule not to talk about food around here, but I can't help it when we want to share the details of Beehive meals. It's something that Amanda and I discovered that has just changed the way we go about meals at our house. And I know Amanda talks a lot about this. She's got more mouths to feed than I do these days because it's just Becky and I most of the time. But whether you're just a couple, whether you're a single individual, whether you're a big family, Beehive Meals has plans for you. This is a Utah company that has found a way to get you these great freezer meals that you just pop into the crock pot and set it for, whenever you need dinner ready, or maybe you just want to keep it on a warm status so that people running in all directions and kids that are coming in from various activities during the summer can have their meal when they're ready. It's just the best idea. It's going to save you time. It's going to save you money because they found a way to do it for less than $3.50 a serving. And it's going to broaden your horizons when it comes to recipes. You might have mac and cheese once in a while at your house, but do you have green chili mac and cheese, brown sugar glazed pork roast, sausage Alfredo, Philly cheesesteak? Those are some of the things that are on the family style menu for the month of June, and they actually have gluten-free and macro-balanced options for you as well. Find out how Beehive Meals can become part of your daily routine. And make sure you enter the discount code KSL at checkout. You'll get another $20 off your order, which is the biggest discount they have ever offered. You'll find them at beehivemeals.com.
Who will dare to find a new way to think about energy? One that connects our lives like never before and creates a world where we can breathe easy. NewScale dared by making 24/7 carbon-free energy a reality with our Voyager SMR power plants. Let's see how bright the future can be when cleaner, safer energy is available to all. NewScale. Power to the world. Power for all humankind. Discover the future of energy at newscalepower.com.
Can you believe it? Just when you thought the savings at Paris RV can't get any better, right now it's Hot Deals Month at Paris RV. And you can save thousands on the easy-to-tow Forest River Rockwood 1640 LTD for only $12,995 or $146 a month. Need a bunkhouse? Save over $13,000 on the Gulfstream Amerilite Ultralight 248BH for $19,995 or $225 per month. Oh, you want to drive your rig so Mama can make you a sandwich on the way.
You want some cheesy poofs too?
Then climb aboard the Gulfstream Conquest Class C 6237 LE for only $79,995 or $636 a month. You're saving almost $36,000. See Paris RV for details. This R&R lifestyle changing and cash back in your jeans is happening right now at Paris RV. With 4 locations, go to parisrv.com.
The lowest prices of the year are now at Paris RV.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. The market's all in the green this first half hour. The Dow is up 23, the S&P is up 16, the NASDAQ with bigger gains, it's up 131 this hour. It's the 100-day countdown to Cougar football, and it's brought to you by Bish's RV with BYU insider Mitch Harper.
BYU's football staff has a lot of new faces, but many of which are probably familiar to Cougar Nation. The collection of offensive coaches remains intact, with Aaron Roderick entering his 4th full season calling the plays. On the defensive side, things change up quite a bit. Jay Hill's in his first year as defensive coordinator, and he brought a bunch of new coaches with him. Coaching the defensive ends and special teams is former BYU linebacker and assistant Kelly Papinga.
Very fortunate, very blessed, and thankful to Kalani for the opportunity to be back.
The interior of the defensive line will be led by former Utah great Sione Bauha.
Jay Hill gives me a call. Kalani gives me a call. This seems like a good place where I can continue to have that balance and still do what I love.
At linebacker is former BYU linebacker Justin Enna. Then coaching the cornerbacks is General Guilford, who enters his 8th season with the program. It's a group of coaches that have a lot of Power 5 experience as BYU gets ready for its first year as a P5 program. Countdown to Cougar football, 85 days to go. I'm Mitch Harper, KSL Sports.
Here's a question. Do you wear dentures? At Grandpa's Dental, you can trade in your floppy dentures and get $2,000 towards an implant-supported solution. You know, they say the older you get, the more you need your teeth. Well, chewing your food isn't a luxury. And taking a bite out of a nice, juicy steak, well, it takes teeth. At Grandpa's Dental, they have over 10,000 restorations under their belt, and it's always affordable. When you walk into one of their 3 locations, you're family. Period. At Grandpa's Dental, they live their family legacy by building lasting relationships through state-of-the-art services. So if you want to stop the flop and actually eat foods you can chew, trade in your dentures at Grandpa's Dental for $2,000 toward your implant solution. Schedule your free consultation at grandpasdental.com today. That's grandpasdental.com. Save $500 to $1,000 on Bernina sewing machines during Dave's Bernina Summer Sale, featuring 60 months no interest. Use Berninas with warranties as low as $399.
Right on cue for summer.
OPEC plans to cut oil production.
Gas prices are headed up.
It could drive up prices for other goods.
Whether you're planning a staycation or a day trip, start your summer here. Get updates on traffic out of town, gas prices, and everything you need to know. Listen each day this summer, mornings and afternoons, to KSL News Radio.
7:59, traffic and weather together here is brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Hopefully still in good shape out there, Andy.
No, it's getting worse, Tim, downtown. It's in good shape at the south end of the valley. We haven't seen any of our delays through Draper or Sandy that we normally do, but we've got slowdowns now coming up on 33rd South and then bumper-to-bumper traffic from 13th South to the 6th South exit. Those right 2 lanes are just at a stop, and that's because of lane restrictions on 6th South that have stuck traffic back onto the exit ramp, which is now back onto the main flow. Heather?
No problems through Weber and Davis County. No slowdowns, no brake lights showing up southbound I-15 from Ogden to Salt Lake. We've got a little bit of congestion on US 89 at I-84 and some of your larger intersections on city streets. Eric?
Along the 215 eastbound, no problems there. If you're heading north towards the University of Utah, some congestion over on Foothill Drive. We have some slowdowns now westbound on I-80. This is because of a crash at Parley Summit that's blocking off a couple of right lanes. And you've got northbound slowdowns on US 40 going past Jordanelle Reservoir because of construction. No trouble, though, in Utah County on the freeway. Plan for delays on US 40 in Summit County this month. The bridge from US 40 to westbound I-80 is closed through early July for maintenance. Avoid travel during commute times if possible. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
82 for a high this afternoon, about a 20% chance of showers, and it's going to stay that way for the next 7 days. Partly cloudy skies in Salt Lake City this hour and 60 degrees.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City. Listen on the KSL News Radio app and in your car at 102.7 FM. KSL News Radio, your all-day companion for news.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 8 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes. Amanda Dixon back from vacation coming up on Monday. Our top story this hour, former President Trump calls the new federal indictment against him election interference. We begin our team coverage with ABC's Andrew Dimber.
Last year, the FBI seized more than 100 documents with classified markings from Mar-a-Lago, along with 43 empty folders with classified banners after Trump failed to comply with a subpoena to return the records. Trump has claimed he declassified any material he took from the White House. Sources say the indictment is expected to be a speaking indictment, meaning the government will lay out its case to the public in the Southern District of Florida, a venue known for its fast-moving proceedings.
Former President Trump went to social media overnight to declare his innocence.
They're trying to destroy a reputation so they can win an election. That's just as bad as doing any of the other things that have been done over the last number of years. I'm an innocent man. I did nothing wrong.
Trump attorney Jim Trusty also appeared on CNN.
Which is ludicrous under the facts of this case, and I can certainly explain it. And several obstruction-based type charges, and then false statement charges, which are actually, again, kind of a crazy stretch just from the facts as we know it.
Sources tell ABC News the former president faces 7 charges, including conspiracy and obstruction of the government's efforts to retrieve the documents, and at least one charge is related to the Espionage Act. Also new this morning, ABC News and other outlets reporting on an audio recording of former President Donald Trump from 2021. In the recording, Mr. Trump is heard saying, quote, "As president, I could have declassified, but now I can't," unquote. Utahns are also reacting to the indictment. KSL News Radio's Adam Small continues our team coverage. Adam?
Tim, former U.S. Attorney for Utah John Huber tells Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News, while it is early, we know that this is serious.
There's a long ways to go before a jury will weigh in on the former president's conduct. But needless to say, Jeff, these are very serious charges.
Huber also says it's easy to feel uneasy about something like this since it hasn't happened before, but he hopes people will have faith in the system.
Myself included, we have faith and hope that there will be a truth-finding mechanism in that court process, and that at the end of the day, at the end of that process, we will have the interests of justice found, the truth found and revealed.
Reporting live in Salt Lake City, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Focusing now on Utah politics, can people switch political parties ahead of the state's upcoming special election to replace Congressman Chris Stewart? KSL News Radio's Lindsay Ayers reports the short answer is yes, but a change in the law could be on the way.
In a regular election, you can't switch political parties about 90 days before a primary. This would be in even-numbered years. But in odd years, there's no partisan primaries, so that law does not apply to municipal or special elections. However, lawmakers will soon be changing that. When they meet next Wednesday, they'll be running a bill to stipulate how close to the primary you can switch.
Lindsay reports the lawmaker who is running the bill was not available for comment. A Utah man who wanted to join the Alaska State Troopers is now suing, saying that the state withdrew a job offer because he has HIV. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston joins me live with that story. Peter?
Tim, he had a conditional job offer in his hand, and he even made it to the final 10 of 245 applicants. But the lawsuit says things changed when the medical examiner revealed that the Utah man had HIV. KSL legal analyst Greg Skorda says that even if that's true,
I think that employers can make decisions based on that. I mean, it certainly is sad, and it's something that we wouldn't want to happen necessarily, but I don't know that it's necessarily illegal.
Skorda says it could come down to whether carrying HIV counts as a disability, which would give the Utah plaintiff a protected status under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
First look traffic, it's Heather Kelly in the traffic center.
And we've got two right lanes pretty much at a standstill northbound I-15 between 13 South and 600 South downtown Salt Lake. That's because the exit ramp to 6 South is blocked. Only 2 left lanes open there. And a big crash in Parley's Canyon. Westbound is down to 2 left lanes right as you approach the summit. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
BYU students will feature their newest science project in the Parade of Homes.
This students-only project is part of the U.S. Department of Energy's Solar Decathlon. 14 other universities from the U.S., Canada, and India are competing to make energy-efficient, sustainable, affordable, and portable housing. BYU's design features 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, a kitchen, living room, and dining room in 850 square feet, and it's entirely solar-powered.
KSL News Radio's Dale Spalding says the home maintains consistent temperature year-round and can be moved anywhere that you can place a crane. He's definitely not your average 14-year-old. Bay Area native Kyron Quasi will soon become the youngest graduate in the history of Santa Clara University. He's graduating with a degree in computer science and engineering, just for good measure. His parents say he was speaking in full sentences at 2 years old, and Quasi says it was clear early on that he was profoundly gifted.
During 3rd grade, it became very obvious to my teachers, my parents, and my pediatrician that mainstream education wasn't the right path for my accelerated learning ability.
Yeah, probably not. That's why he entered college at 9. To top that off, he's already landed his first job. He's a software engineer, or will be soon, for SpaceX. He's going to start that job next month. A mystery in Las Vegas. Did something non-human crash in the backyard of a home, and was it connected to other lights seen in the sky beforehand? Here's ABC's Alex Stone.
911 emergency.
In this 911 call audio obtained by ABC News, a man reports something just crashed into his backyard, and there were 10-foot-tall non-human beings that survived the impact.
Like their eyes look like neon, like you could see very bright from very far away.
Las Vegas police responded, body cameras picking up the response, and officers saying,
"Oh, I don't know. I'm so nervous right now. I have butterflies, bro."
Once they got to the home, the family there said the strange-looking beings had been there, but they were gone.
It was like a big creature.
And add to the mystery, shortly before that, an officer's body camera picked up something that looked like a meteor in the sky. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Northbound slowing now on I-15, both in Murray and then approaching the 600 South exit downtown. They're going to squeeze you by 1 or 2 lanes there. We'll check it all with traffic and weather together next.
Breaking news is just one ask away.
Playing KSL News Radio.
More water, but less parking at Bear Lake this summer.
Be careful letting your pets play in the grass.
In your home, tell Alexa, play KSL News Radio. Then listen in your car at 102.7 FM.
Do you know how to tell if a clogged drain is something to worry about or not? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I understand it's annoying and inconvenient, but sometimes a clogged drain can be a sign there's a more serious issue with your sewer main line. If the drains in the lowest level of your home aren't draining, or you flush a toilet and it comes up somewhere else like a shower or a floor drain, I'm urging you to look at this as more than just an annoyance. The last thing I want you to experience is a sewer backup. If you're a homeowner experiencing any of these issues, the first step would be to snake the line to see if it's just a blockage, which one of our drain techs can do for only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
When interest rates rise, it's not all bad. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, helping you understand why now is the time to purchase an annuity. Annuities are the only products that will guarantee you an income you can't outlive. It's those guarantees that are tied to Treasury rates. And as we know, those rates are at 40-year highs. If you're in or within 10 years of retirement, use this to your advantage. This is exactly why it's possible to receive up to a 25% upfront bonus for income, and why it is possible to receive up to 10% per year for income growth. It's because of the high interest rates. Don't let anyone tell you it's not true, but also don't wait. Interest rates and these guarantees will eventually come down. Call 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600. Or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Guarantees are based on claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Our top story this morning, of course, is the indictment that was handed down yesterday to former President Donald Trump. There is one new development this morning. ABC News and some other outlets reporting that they have now received a transcript of the audio recording from 2021 where the president is heard talking about his ability to classify or declassify any documents in his possession. We'll have more on that coming up with ABC News. KSL News Time 8:09. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9's. Brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Heather?
Well, we've got a big problem northbound I-15 trying to get into downtown Salt Lake. It's only the 2 right lanes that are affected, but you're pretty much at a standstill from 13th South trying to exit onto 600 South in downtown Salt Lake because the exit ramp is down to only 2 left lanes. You're going to be a lot better off taking the connector ramp that'll take you onto 13th or 900 South, so you're not in those delays. If you're up in the Davis-Weber County area, we do have a crash in Ogden. Westbound 40th Street has 1 left lane closed, as well as northbound Washington Boulevard, 1 right lane closed due to that crash. Eric?
We still got a crash westbound I-80 in Parley's Canyon. This is right at Parley's Summit, but now we've got 2 left lanes open and traffic is moving a lot better through that area. And you still have some northbound construction-related delays on US 40 right at the north part of Jordanelle Reservoir as you head up to turn onto 248. That's Kearns Boulevard if you're going into Park City. Down Utah County, I-15 is just fine. Northbound from Spanish Fork to Point of the Mountain, your typical 24-minute drive. There's no place like home, so let's fill our yards with beautiful color this year using flowers from Olson's Greenhouse. Find a garden center selling Olson's plants at OGG.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, an isolated chance for some storms this afternoon, however, less in number compared to yesterday, high of 82. Overnight lows, low 60s with some clouds here and there. We'll go 83 tomorrow afternoon. Sunny by the first half of the day, but by afternoon, chance for storms. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Sunny downtown this hour. Pretty morning, 61 degrees, at least in Salt Lake City. We got off to a cold start in Park City, though. It was 38 degrees there this morning. Well, some of the other candidates that are running for the Republican nomination for the presidency in 2024 are starting to react to these indictments this morning. So we're going to check in with ABC's Rachel Scott and bring that to you in depth in just a minute at 102.7 FM and 1160 AM. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. Tim Hughes with you till 9. It's Movie Show Friday, and we'll turn it over to Doug and Steve right after the news at the top of the hour. Here on KSL News Radio, your all-day companion for news. Les Olson has always been the place that Utah turned to when it came to copiers and printers, and we want you to know that you can still do that. Matter of fact, these new printers, these Ricos in particular, that we had a chance to look at when we took a tour not so long ago of their offices, incredible. And if you have a company that spends a lot of money outside the office for printing needs, in the long run, you may save yourself some money and maybe a lot of money by taking a look at some of these printers that will bring your print shop right in-house for you. So that's one thing to consider. But the other thing is, it's so much more, Les Olson is now, than just printers and copiers. It's Les Olson IT. From security badges to building your actual services, running the fiber from the street to the server with the Cat6 cabling, installing monitors, facial recognition. They can do all of that for your company. And again, it goes back to saving your company more money, making you more competitive in this crazy changing technological world. Find out more by visiting our friends at Les Olson. They've got, it's Les Olson IT. 9 locations from Logan to Las Vegas. Go to lesolson.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Want to annihilate payroll problems? Wipe them out with Paycom. Paycom torches timesheet errors like a flamethrower. Oh, obliterates overtime blunders like a wrecking ball. Holy mackerel! And PTO problems? Paycom leaves them pulverized. Wow! Because with Paycom, employees do their own payroll right in the Paycom app. They find and fix errors before payroll submission, so HR can tackle important stuff, like performance incentives and retaining top producers, so your people can crush their goals. And with Paycom, employees enter and manage their own HR info, like onboarding, tax setup, and benefits enrollment. It's all in one powerful software with ironclad security. Stop doing that! Sick of HR and payroll headaches? Don't just eliminate them. Demolish them at paycom.com.
KSL News Time, 8:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
former President Donald Trump has been indicted on 7 criminal charges for the misuse of classified documents. The Utah Republicans are bored by the news. I'm KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricard Bell.
Second, a Utah man who wanted to join the Alaska State Troopers is now suing, saying the state withdrew a job offer because he has HIV. Third, we continue to watch The Drive with traffic and weather together.
The roadways is northbound I-15 as you head into downtown Salt Lake. 2 right lanes are nearly at a crawl from 13 South to 600 South. You may want to avoid getting off of 600 South from I-15. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Isolated storms possible this afternoon, and they continue into the weekend. I'm Matt Johnson.
Sunny and 61 degrees in Salt Lake City with KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Derek Dennis. Multiple new developments in the federal indictment handed up against former President Trump. ABC News learning, in addition to the charges, there's an audio tape of Trump admitting to taking classified materials and then acknowledging he couldn't declassify them since he was out of office.
This White House is not commenting. Look, President Biden wants to stay far away from this because he has long vowed to protect the independence of the Justice Department, saying again yesterday that he doesn't tell the department what to do or suggest what charges they should go after. And the president knows if he were to weigh in on this, that Trump and his team could try to take whatever the president says and use it to fuel their claims that this is somehow politically motivated. The Biden team is also well aware that Trump is eager to fundraise off of all of this.
ABC's Mary Bruce at the White House. Trump on his social media platform Truth Social says he's innocent. Meantime, sources say the judge in Florida assigned to the case is Aileen Cannon, a Trump appointee who legal experts say has been sympathetic in her previous rulings regarding Trump. Other news, another court proceeding is underway, this one involving the man accused in the disappearance of Natalee Holloway 18 years ago.
A moment nearly 2 decades in the making. Joran Vandersloot, the prime suspect in the disappearance of American teen Natalee Holloway, now on U.S. soil. Reporters on the scene as a 35-year-old Dutch national arrived in Birmingham just after 2:30 p.m. on Thursday. Extradited from Peru to face federal charges, Vandersloot is accused of extorting Holloway's mother, Beth, allegedly demanding $250,000 for information about the location of Natalee's body.
ABC's Elwin Lopez. All eyes on a Washington, D.C. neighborhood this morning. A black bear seen roaming the streets has been cornered to a tree, apparently hanging out and refusing to come down. Animal control officers are on hand, working to capture the bear safely to relocate it to a more appropriate environment. This is ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. As I told you a moment ago, some of former President Trump's Republican opponents now are reacting to his indictment. We get the details from ABC's Rachel Scott.
One thing is clear. None of this does prevent Donald Trump from running for president. In fact, his campaign immediately started fundraising off of this. His advisors tell me that he is moving forward with his campaign events as scheduled. There are 12 Republicans in the race for president. Donald Trump is the front runner, but nearly the entire Republican field is walking this very fine line. His own former Vice President Mike Pence and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie entered the race, delivering their sharpest attacks yet on Donald Trump. But yet they are not criticizing him over this indictment. Pence telling me he does believe there needs to be new leadership, but he says an indictment would only further divide the country. Christie, a former federal prosecutor, knows how high the stakes are here. He wants to read the details of this indictment, but says no one is above the rule of law. And then you have Trump's biggest rival, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. He is attacking the Justice Department, not the former president. Only one candidate, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, says that this is every single reason why Trump needs to end his campaign now. But from the campaign trail all the way to Capitol Hill, that is not something we are hearing from most Republicans.
And we'll keep an ear to ABC for any new information that may come along. Make sure you stay here on KSL for the In-Depth at 15 and 45. 8:19, traffic and weather together is brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Let's get back over to Heather Kelly.
Well, we do have a bit of slowing northbound I-15 as you come through Murray heading into South Salt Lake, but the big delays remain in the two right lanes of northbound I-15 between 1300 and 600 South. That's because the 600 South exit ramp is only has two left lanes open. The other three are closed for construction. So you're going to be a lot better off if you just transition onto the collector ramp that'll take you either to 13th South or 900 South exits, so you don't have to be in those delays into downtown. And then the rest of the drive in the Salt Lake Valley, especially on the 201 freeway, looks pretty good. Eric.
I-15 down Utah County, no problems there. Northbound from Provo to Point of the Mountain, that's a 20-minute drive. If you're over on Mountain View Corridor, expect a little bit of slowdowns heading north away from SR 73 and going up towards Redwood Road. And right at that Redwood intersection, that's going to be slow as well. If you're along the Wasatch Back, we do have construction-related slowdowns on US 40 from Jordanelle Reservoir up to the turnoff on SR 248 to go into Park City, or eastbound out to the Camas area. You still got a crash on I-80 at Parley Summit, blocking off a right lane. We've got two left lanes getting through there now, and you do have some slowing as you try to go up over the top of the summit. It's the summer tour sales event at Murdoch Chevrolet. Take up to $6,000 off or 1.9% for 3 years on select Silverados. Murdoch Chevrolet in Logan, Woods Cross, or online at murdochchev.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast, it's deja vu. 82 today with a chance for storms. We go again tomorrow, 83. ISO storms by afternoon. Sunday, 86, warmest of the next 7 with a slight chance for some storms. We keep scattered afternoon and evening storms in on Monday, 79, so a touch cooler. 78 on Tuesday, chance for storms there. Scattered thunderstorms possible Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Highs in the low 80s for both days. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Another pretty morning out there with blue sky, sunshine, and 61 degrees. Hey, if you're a sports fan, and I've mentioned this since we're in the countdown to the 100-day countdown to Cougar football and Big 12 action, if you're a Jazz fan too, you can get text alerts sent right to your phone that are specific to your favorite team. You can either just text the word Jazz or text the letters BYU. To the Cypress Credit Union KSL text line at 57500, and any important information for fans of those teams will come directly to your device, so do that today. KSL News Time, 8:23.
You've heard me say it before, Replenish Landscape Garden Products really has everything you need to make your lawn and garden work and look beautiful. Greg's here with me again. So many different products out there. I think people will find it convenient because they can come in, look at the specific product, get it loaded quickly, and get back home to get the job started.
That's what our focus is on bulk and bag materials. Obviously, we're known for the compost itself, which has gained a great reputation, but our soil blends are excellent. We have the bulk box garden blend. We have 4 different colors of wood mulch, 5 or 6 different kinds of shredded bark, and just a variety of things, including sand and gravel.
A lot of these playground chips and things are found in kids' playgrounds all over the valley. Find out why landscapers valley-wide use Replenish Landscape Garden products. See them at 4660 South, 200 West in Murray. Go to their website at replenishcompost.com or give Greg and Mike a call at 801-262-5142. Replenish. It's good stuff.
Mountain Star Healthcare's Harriman Emergency Center is now open. Be seen fast at the Harriman ER located just off Mountain View Corridor and 134th South in Harriman.
Introducing Yes, Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. We're bringing all of Utah's favorite HVAC, plumbing, and electrical brands under one roof. Call the pros at Yes and save up to $1,000 on select new energy-efficient HVAC systems. Plus, you get a free whole-home air purification system to help reduce harmful airborne contaminants in your home. The same great people providing the same great service that Utah has counted on for more than 45 years. Visit theyesmancan.com to schedule your appointment.
It doesn't get better than summer camping in Utah, and it doesn't get any bigger than the Utah Summer RV Palooza, presented by Bish's RV. We're bringing the biggest RV show in the region to Layton, June 8th through the 10th. For 3 days only, the Layton Hills Mall is where you'll find a massive selection of top RV brands like Go Play, Ember RV, Forest River, Northwood, and a whole lot more. Get up to 20% below cost on select new 2022 RVs, and get 90 days no payments on approved credit for all play and no pay till September OAC. Summer RV Palooza is where you'll find a brand new 26 BH travel trailer. It's high quality at an undeniable value at a sale price of only $19,995. The selection is huge, and so are the trade-in offers. Get max value for your current RV when you trade in at the show. Shop the Summer RV Palooza now at bishes.com/Utah RV Palooza. 3 days only, June 8th through the 10th at the Layton Hills Mall. Sponsored by Bish's RV.
Watching Utah's Money is brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Following the news of Lionel Messi joining the MLS, ticket prices for Miami Soccer Club, which is where he's rumored to be headed, are soaring. Ticket prices have increased almost 1,000% for many of their games. Middle-income homebuyers are struggling to find available and affordable homes. A report from the National Association of Realtors says Americans who make $75,000 or less, which make up half the country, can't find houses that are in their price range despite more homes being available for sale. And the 20 countries that use the euro are currently in a mild recession. New data shows the Eurozone economy dropped during the first quarter of the year. The countries are also dealing with inflation that's 3 times higher than the European Central Bank's target. They're expecting the economy to keep falling as interest rates keep jumping. The markets today here in the U.S. not doing so bad. The Dow is up another 88 points after gains yesterday. The S&P is up 25. The NASDAQ on the plus side by 132. We've got some slowings in Murray, and you're going to be squeezed as you come into downtown Salt Lake City on 600 South. That took me by surprise this morning, first thing. They're doing some construction that has narrowed the lanes there. So we'll check all of your traffic and weather together coming up in just a minute. Whenever something happens out of the ordinary at home, particularly when it has to do with water, you want to have somebody you can trust and right there at your fingertips to come and put the cape on and come in as your rescue team. For us, that's Superior Water and Air, and they can really handle everything, not just emergencies in your home, but right down to installing a faucet if you're a little afraid of doing that yourself, or providing your family with great drinking water. If you have not tested out Superior Waters and Air water filtration system, you really owe it to yourself to do that. We consider ourselves at our house water snobs. Once you've had filtered water, it's tough to go back. But they can also help you if you are a business owner, or maybe you're a manager of a place and you're using still those big unsanitary water bottles in the office. Let them hook you up to a more convenient, trusted water system. They can do so much for your family. The heating, of course, with your furnaces, the cooling with your air conditioners as we head into the heat of the summer. Here's a number to call, Superior Water and Air. It's 801-974-9090, or find them online at superiorwaterandair.com.
Summer 2023 will be one to remember.
Mike Pence and Chris Christie set to enter the race.
Governor Cox is actively looking for trade away from China.
Brace for higher gas prices. It's a summer to camp out on KSL. Tim and Amanda have breaking news, mornings 5 to 9. David Dujanovic and Boyd Matheson talk about the biggest stories during the day. And you get updates and Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News from 3 to 7 on the drive home. The summer of 2023 will be on KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. How are we looking, Heather?
We're looking okay overall, especially if you're in the Salt Lake Valley. There aren't any delays on the west side belt. A few minor brake lights on Mountain View Corridor and Bangalore Highway, but northbound I-15, the two right lanes are pretty much at a crawl between 1300 and 600 South because the exit ramp at 600 South only has two left lanes available. Everyone has to shift over there, and that's causing the delays. You're going to be better off if you just exit before 6 South at 13th or 900 South. And then if you're coming out of Tooele County, things look good, SR 36 and I-80, and no real problems up north in Weber and Davis counties. Eric.
I-15 continues to look pretty solid in Utah County. No problems there. Along the 215 eastbound, that's also looking good heading north in Foothill Drive. Really just a little bit of slowdowns at that 1700 South intersection. I-80 westbound crash right at Parley Summit. You've got a couple of lanes now open on the left-hand side, and as a result of not a lot of volume, light volume, you don't really have any delays going up over the top, but be careful because of that crash over there on the right. Save with Burke Brothers on brand name tires up to $150 off select Goodyear tires, up to $140 off select Bridgestone tires, and $130 off select Firestone tires. Burke Brothers, complete auto care done better. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Shoot for a high today of 82 degrees, at 20% chance of afternoon thunderstorms back again, and right now sunny at 63 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 8:30, and our top story this half hour. State water experts say Utah's rivers reached peak runoff last week, and every flood advisory across the state has now been canceled. But the green mountainsides we currently have won't last, and that has state officials concerned about wildfires.
Kelly Wickens of the Utah Division of Forestry, Fire, and State Lands tells KSL TV that the transition to fire season has already begun.
At this point, we've had just over 100 fires.
As for the when and where of fire season, Wickens says July and August will be hot spots, and
in the lower elevations, that's more than likely where we will see the most fire activity.
The latest wildfire is a 5-acre blaze in New Harmony, which is in southern Utah. Firefighters say it's man-made, as are half the fires Utah's faced this year. Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
We've had a lot of thunderstorms over the past couple of weeks, so how much should we be watering our lawns? Horticulturist and KSL News Radio greenhouse co-host Ton Bettis says be sure to turn off the sprinklers for a few days if you get a downpour.
Wait for the thunderstorm to get done. And if there's enough rain that you see water going down the gutters, along the sidewalks, and everything's just really wet, then I would at least delay for 24 to 48 hours before I reactivated them.
He says this time of year, people should only be watering twice a week. Our top national story this hour, former President Donald Trump has been ordered to appear in federal court in Miami on Tuesday to be indicted in the federal classified documents probe. We begin our team coverage with ABC's Justin Finch.
Trump's alleged refusal to return government records to the National Archives prompted a federal judge to authorize a search of his Mar-a-Lago home last August. That search turning up more than 100 classified documents, despite Trump's team saying all requested materials were handed over. ABC's Pierre Thomas saying his sources expect the indictment will lay out prosecutors' case in stunning detail.
They have told me that the evidence amassed by the FBI is compelling and in some cases devastating.
ABC News political director Rick Klein says the indictment does not mean the former president will drop out of the presidential race.
I'm not buying for 1 second that he's politically bulletproof just because he's survived scandals before. This may be different, or it may be that the weight of all of this is different.
The former president took to social media last night saying that he's innocent. We have some breaking news now. Just into the newsroom, Utah Senator Mitt Romney released a statement on former President Trump's indictment, saying Mr. Trump brought these charges upon himself by taking classified documents and not giving them up when given the opportunity. Romney adds the allegations are serious. Former counterterrorism coordinator at the DHS, John Cohen, joined me earlier this morning talking about why former President Trump is facing charges, but not others who also took home classified documents.
The circumstances surrounding Vice President Pence and what we've heard thus far about the circumstances surrounding now President Biden. When it appears that the documents were inadvertently packed away, that once they were discovered, they were quickly turned back to the Justice Department, and that folks were cooperating with the Justice Department in the return of those documents. Totally different story with former President Trump. Apparently, what we've learned thus far through court filings that have been made public already is he intentionally removed the documents, and that's confirmed by his own statements, that when the archives asked for them back, he provided inaccurate information back to the archives or refused to cooperate. The Justice Department had to serve a search warrant on his residence in Florida to recover additional documents, and there appears to be behaviors by the former president in which he obstructed the Justice Department from conducting this investigation.
Cohen also told me earlier this morning that investigators look at what was the intent behind taking those documents home. Stay with KSL News Radio and ABC for any new developments throughout the day, throughout the weekend here on KSL. Our news time is 8:35. Let's check First Look traffic and go back to Heather Kelly.
The big issue is going to be trying to get into downtown Salt Lake City on northbound I-15. 2 right lanes are at a crawl, but that's also slowing the other lanes a little bit as they try to figure out why. And that slowing is between 1300 and 600 South. The exit ramp to 600 South only has 2 left lanes open, so it's causing all of this backup. You may want to consider taking alternate routes into downtown Salt Lake. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
All 18 members of the State Board of Higher Education are on their way out in just a matter of weeks. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has details.
What's believed to be the very first time in Utah history, Governor Spencer Cox has appointed 10 new members of the board, not retaining a single sitting member. The Deseret News reports this comes on the heels of a new bill passed by the legislature this year that made changes to the State Board of Higher Education, including reducing the number of members from 18 to 10. A spokesperson for Governor Cox says he believed this group would be aligned with his vision to help Utah workers and keep tuition low. The new law goes into effect on July 1st. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
People living in Elko, Nevada are battling an invasion of Mormon crickets. This resident was talking to KSL TV when a cricket fell on her from the ceiling.
They dropped from the ceiling down. Yeah, they're gross. They're super gross.
The crickets are migrating right now and should be moving out of Elko, they tell us, by the end of the week. And a researcher from Colorado is here in Utah collecting rattlesnake venom to see if it can be used in cancer treatments.
PhD student Eric Yanuskevich is in Cottonwood Heights this week tracking Great Basin rattlesnakes.
I've always kind of been fascinated, and I got the opportunity to work with them in my undergrad, so that just kind of got me hooked.
Eric delivers the rattlesnakes to the lab in Colorado where the venom is extracted at no harm to the rattlesnakes. He then characterizes the venom to see if there's any traits unique to the Great Basin rattlesnakes.
Looking at all the toxins that are within their venom that make up their venom.
Eric says certain toxins in snake venom could be used to kill certain cancers in the body. Mark Jackson, KSL News Radio.
That bottleneck getting into downtown Salt Lake City on the 600 exit is really starting to back up now onto the northbound side of I-15. And as Heather advised a minute ago, you might want to take a alternate entrance into the city. We'll take a look at traffic and weather together coming up in 2 minutes.
Start your day with all news in the morning. Then hear Dave and Dujanovic talk about the biggest stories from 9 to noon.
Utah is the fastest growing state out there.
You need to stop blaming Californians.
Breaking news, important talk, all morning on KSL News Radio.
And now here's Growing Your Wealth, presented by Madrona Financial Services. Here's Brian Evans.
Now, as a financial guy, I'm asked to spend time on many different boards. Every board has a finance committee pretty much, and I'm certainly invited to a lot of those. One of the topics that comes up is when people donate money, what are things that they could do to help them out? I wanted to talk about one in particular today, and that is where a lot of people that donate to charity are older, they're in their 70s or 80s, and they are subject to something called required minimum distributions. where if you have retirement accounts, every year you're required to pull a certain money out of those retirement accounts and put it into a regular account. And when you do that, so you move it essentially, as I call it, from your left pocket to your right pocket, the IRS wants to take their share of that at your highest marginal tax bracket. Now, if you're charitably inclined, you can do something really good for yourself and for the charities. So you can do a direct transfer from your IRA to your favorite charities, and it does qualify towards your required minimum distribution. Now, how does this help you? Well, nobody pays any of the income tax on that. When it goes directly to the charity, you don't pay income tax on that. Charity gets all the money. So let's say instead of taking $10,000 directly and paying $2,000 in tax and giving them $8,000, you could just give them the $10,000 directly. Also, that doesn't add to your own income tax, which means the other parts of your income tax return don't go up and you don't pay higher tax on other kinds of income. So it can be really beneficial to you, but especially beneficial to your favorite charity.
Even the mightiest of trees can be blown over if they don't have strong enough roots. The same is true with your investment plan. Can your plan withstand a financial storm? Go to MadronaFinancial.com and click on the Get Started button to request your Rooted Wealth Analysis. You can also click on the chat button and ask us anything. We have a searchable library with answers to your questions. Visit MadronaFinancial.com.
We learned just a moment ago that Utah Senator Mitt Romney is now weighing in on the indictment of former President Trump, saying that Trump brought these charges upon himself by taking classified documents and adding that these allegations are serious. We are continuing to follow developments in that story for you throughout the day here on KSL News Radio. It's 8:39. Traffic and weather together is again brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Heather?
We are looking pretty good if you're trying to get into downtown Salt Lake from Tooele County on I-80 or the 201 freeway. Northbound I-15 from Point of the Mountain looks great. You're free and clear all the way till you get to just about 1300 South. That's when everything starts slowing down, especially the two right lanes, as people approach from 13th South to 600 South exit ramp, where there's only two left lanes open on that exit ramp. So you're going to be much better off exiting somewhere else. Just don't even get right into downtown Salt Lake before you exit the freeway. Eric?
Construction barrels have been rolled out northbound on 215 East Beltra at 4500 South. That's why we've got some slowing there, trying to head up towards the mouth of Parley Canyon. Out in the canyon itself, the crash that's westbound I-80 at Parley Summit has been moved entirely over to the right shoulder. So looks like a pretty decent drive if you're coming from Park City into the valley or the other direction. I-15 Utah County, northbound, southbound, that's looking good. A little bit of congestion now, 2100 north at Redwood Road. And for eastbounders over at 2300 west, not like a lot of weekday mornings, so it's a little bit better than that. Update your kitchen with Durden's Appliance, where they meet any competitor's price. Visit Durdens.com or on 5th South and Bountiful. Durden's, brands you know at prices you'll love. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
First half of the day looks great with more sunshine, maybe some clouds popping up. By this afternoon, high of 82, isolated storms possible. Overnight lows, low 60, partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow we'll do it again, 83 with a chance for storms by afternoon and evening. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now in Salt Lake City, it is 61 degrees. We are one day closer as we continue our countdown to Cougar football, one day closer to not just the beginning of a football season, but the beginning of Big 12 action for BYU. Mitch Harper is going to join me here in just a minute as we continue that countdown at 102.7 FM and 1160 AM. Thanks for joining us here on this Friday, getting you to the weekend on your all-day companion for news.
Can you believe it? Just when you thought the savings at Paris RV can't get any better, right now is Hot Deals Month at Paris RV, and you can save thousands on the easy-to-tow Forest River Rockwood 1640 LTD for only $12,995 or $146 a month. Need a bunkhouse? Save over $13,000 on the Gulfstream Amerilite Ultralight 248BH for $19,995 or $225 per month. Oh, you want to drive your rig so Mama can make you a sandwich on the way.
You want some cheesy poofs too?
Then climb aboard the Gulfstream Conquest Class C 6237 LE for only $79,995 or $636 a month. You're saving almost $36,000. See Paris RV for details. This R&R lifestyle changing and cash back in your jeans is happening right now at Paris RV. With 4 locations, go to ParisRV.com.
The lowest prices of the year are now at Paris RV.
Are you looking to buy a home this summer? Do you feel stuck saving up for a big down payment? For a limited time, Mortgage Mike and City Creek Mortgage are offering up to a $4,000 down payment grant. Give Mortgage Mike and City Creek Mortgage a call at 801-900-HOME today to hear more about their $4,000 down payment grant. Some terms and conditions apply, so make sure and give them a call and get started before this grant goes away. City Creek Mortgage is an equal housing lender, NMLS 858555 79053.
Smart, connected, modern. Discover life-enhancing independent living services at Trio South Ogden. They do things a little differently there because you're different. With everything you need to support your best self, you'll find that joy isn't just for the young, it's for the young of heart. Trio South Ogden's signature programs provide a unique approach to wellness that brings living well and well-being to life. To learn more, contact Trio South Ogden at 801-475-4004 or visit triosouthodden.com.
KSL News Time, 8:44. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
water watchers say Utah saw the perfect scenario for melting 2023's record snowpack, but summer heat is quickly turning the green hillsides into wildfire tinder. I'm KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston.
Second, Utah Senator Mitt Romney released a statement a short time ago saying that former President Trump brought these federal charges upon himself by taking classified documents and not giving them up when given the opportunity. Third, it's traffic and weather together.
Well, the only delay we have across the Wasatch Front right now is northbound I-15 trying to exit onto 600 South in downtown. That is because the exit ramp only has 2 left lanes open, so you're going to be better off taking an alternate route. Right now, everybody else is moving along well, even though we've had a few minor fender benders. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Partly cloudy with a slight chance for a shower today. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now in Salt Lake City, 63 degrees with our top national stories.
Former President Trump caught on tape as part of the federal indictment against him for his handling of classified materials. ABC News learning there's a recording of Trump admitting to taking classified materials and then acknowledging he couldn't declassify them since he was out of office. But will that lead to a conviction?
We've seen Donald Trump benefit politically from things that might sink any other candidacy in the history of forever. And I think at this point, it'd be folly to say that his base is going to abandon him because of these charges. I do think they're very serious. They're a huge distraction, and there's a big argument to be made that it might not be practically possible for him to be making all these court appearances and mounting a legal defense in multiple jurisdictions at the same time that he is running for president.
ABC News political director Rick Klein. Trump has denied any wrongdoing, and on his Truth Social platform, he called the federal indictment a dark day for the U.S.
I'm innocent, and we will prove that very, very soundly and hopefully very quickly. Thank you very much.
I'm Derek Dennis, ABC News.
It is time for KSL's weekly update of BYU and Big 12 news from Mitch Harper, who is counting down the 100 days to Cougar football. Seems like every day, Mitch, there's another bit of exciting news that breaks, and today it was the fact that Big 12 basketball is going to play in Mexico City in 2024, and it sounds like football may follow shortly thereafter.
That's true. Big 12 Conference has been very forward-thinking and trying to get creative with finding new revenue avenues. And the commissioner of the Big 12, Brett Yormark, he's going to take the league into Mexico, where Kansas and Houston will play basketball games, and then potentially bowl games will be down there in Mexico and Monterrey. Beginning in 2026. So it's a new era for not only BYU, but many members in this league with how creative they're getting.
Maybe you don't have the details here, but I'm curious, does that mean sponsorships for those games, or is it Mexico City themselves that would be putting up some of the cost here?
It'd be Mexico City and the TV partners as well, ESPN or Fox. And that's where, and then also the revenue from the events themselves with ticket sales, the sponsorships. That's the direction that would potentially create opportunities for more revenue.
One of your reports we had earlier this week was talking about, and Mexico City obviously would be a new venue, but a lot of these road trips are going to be to places that these players certainly, but these coaches and as broadcasters, you've never been, so that makes it kind of fun.
It does, and I think that the novelty early on, going into the Big 12 Conference, will be exciting for BYU, and it'll make almost every game feel like a huge event for BYU and its fans. And, that'll wear over time as they get more ingrained into this league. But to go to Arkansas, to go to West Virginia, go to Kansas, I mean, these are games that they've just never played really ever. And to have kind of a first of its kind makes it even more fun what BYU's about to do this fall.
I remember when Utah made the move into the Pac-12, they were making the point that ticket prices were going to go up because every game now was a premium game. Is there much pushback on the price increases for tickets down at LaVell Edwards?
I think it's been a real shock, I think, for Cougar fans to see the increase in tickets. It's still more affordable than most of their Big 12 peers, but it's definitely a jump. And a lot of that again is a directive, I think, for the Big 12 conference to have higher price ticket sales to create those revenue streams, as we talked about. It's kind of in your face now as a BYU fan about the big money business of being in a big conference, and that's kind of tough, I think, for the fans. We're especially seeing it in basketball, where you basically have to donate a big lump sum to the Cougar Club to get priority points, or you're probably not going to have season tickets to see BYU basketball. Football, it's still a little more doable to get in because, you got 63,000 seats. But the big business nature of this sport is really kind of front and center suddenly, because before, when it was independence and it was the Mountain West and the WAC, it was very affordable. But this is becoming a big business now, being in the Power Five.
Yeah, like it or not, I don't think that genie's going to go back in the bottle either. Mitch, we've enjoyed your countdown, and we'll continue to listen for it here in the mornings and the afternoons on KSL. It's KSL's 100-day countdown to Cougar football, brought to you by Bish's RV. Family-owned for 30 years, Bish's RV has always helped RVers. Go play. Shop locally at bishes.com today. KSL News Time 8:49, traffic and weather together. Again, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Let's go back over to Heather Kelly.
Well, anybody still trying to get into downtown Salt Lake for the morning drive are going to have to allow a lot of extra time, about 10 to 15 extra minutes. If you typically exit at 600 South downtown Salt Lake, only the 2 left lanes of that exit are open. Normally there's 5 lanes available. So we've got traffic backed up in the 2 right lanes of main flow I-15 all the way back almost to 2100 South now. So you're probably going to be better off exiting before you even get to 2100 South, or use the 21st South exit and then make your way the rest of the way into downtown Salt Lake. Again, taking an extra 10 or 15 minutes. But the good news is everybody else coming into Salt Lake from Davis County and Tooele County, they're moving freely on the roadways. Eric.
Had some construction-related delays out there, northbound on the 215 East Belt, approaching 4500 South, and over near Jordan Reservoir, US 40 northbound traffic went by the north part of the reservoir up to the turnoff to go into Park City. That's SR 248. That's also at reduced speeds, and it has been from time to time this morning. Still got a westbound crash, still been cleared up. This is over on I-80 westbound at Parley Summit, but this is entirely over on the shoulder now. Down Utah County, I-15 northbound, southbound is looking good. Plan for delays on US 40 in Summit County this month. The bridge from US 40 to westbound I-80 is closed through early July for maintenance. Avoid travel during commute times if possible. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. 82 today with a chance for isolated storms. We'll go 83 tomorrow. Isolated storms possible again. Sunday, 86, warmest of the next 7 with a chance for storms. 79 on Monday, some slightly cooler air with a chance for storms. We keep scattered storm chances in on Tuesday, Wednesday, and even Thursday of next week as another low swings in from California. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Sunny and 64 downtown. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. We're going to turn it over to the movie show coming up right after the news at the top of the hour. Doug and Steve, I'm sure, are going to be taking a look at the new Transformers movie. Stay with them 9 to noon here on KSL News Radio, where the news time is 8:52.
Elder abuse often goes unnoticed and unreported, especially when older adults are isolated and lack access to resources. Well, on June 15th from 10 to noon, you're invited to a virtual event hosted by the Utah Department of Health and Human Services and Aging Service Partners, because June 15th is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. The focus of this year's conference is working together in collaborative partnership to educate, report, and prevent financial exploitation and other forms of maltreatment against older and vulnerable adults in Utah. You'll hear from a wonderful lineup of notable keynote speakers, including an introduction from Utah's Governor Cox. Please help protect Utah's older and more vulnerable adults, not just on one day, but every day. Attend this virtual event on June 15th from 10 a.m. to noon and find out what you can watch for. Text SENIOR to 57500 to register. That's SENIOR to 57500.
Lowe's knows the best deals for Dad. That's why this Father's Day, you can shop our best gifts from the brands he loves for less. Help Dad power his next big project by getting him a Cobalt 24-volt Max drill kit, now only $89. And save up to 40% on select tools and accessories. Shop Father's Day deals today, in-store and online. Lowe's knows dads. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 6/14 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Our state's children face a serious threat from the vaping industry, but thanks to state leaders and the Utah Health Department, Utah established the strictest nicotine standards for vaping in the United States to protect our kids. However, the vaping industry sued, claiming their sales and profits are down. Now they're pushing the health department to hand control of vaping regulations to the federal government. We can't allow that to happen. The proposed change would automatically increase nicotine levels in vape pens and reintroduce fruity flavors that entice our kids back into Utah convenience stores. Visit StopKidsVaping.com today and make your voice heard. Utah should maintain state control, preserve our 3% nicotine limitations, and prevent vaping flavors from returning to Utah convenience stores. Together, we can secure a better future for our children. Join us at StopKidsVaping.com and tell the health department, protect our kids.
Paid for by Prosperous Utah Communities.
Watching Utah's Money this morning is brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. A new report from Bankrate shows fewer Americans are tipping. The report shows just 65% of adults tip at sit-down restaurants, which is down almost 10% from the year before. Norwegian Cruise Line working on an electric cruise ship. It's expected to launch in 2030. The ship has retractable sails covered in solar panels and is called C0, expected to have zero emissions. The company says the batteries will have a range of about 350 nautical miles, so it would have to frequently change the batteries on longer trips. Designers have come up with an airplane seat concept that lets wheelchairs users stay in their chairs during flights. The new seat works by folding up and letting wheelchairs dock in place. If the prototype gets accepted, we're being told it could be in airplanes within a year, believe it or not. Your money at this moment, the U.S. Dow is up almost 100 points now, 0.3%. The S&P, and how about this headline? The S&P on track for the highest close since April of 2022 after the stocks exit the bear market. We're going to add about 19 or 20 points to that right now. That's closing in on another 0.5%. And the NASDAQ is up this morning by 69. That is also 0.5%. Traffic and weather together just ahead. We'll see if that situation, that bottleneck getting into the city is improving at all on 6 South. Stay with us.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. The majority of victims know their attacker. It could be your friend, your neighbor, or someone you met at a party. If you said no, it's rape, and it's a crime. This is Christina Ricci with RAINN. Call the National Sexual Assault Hotline today at 1-800-656-HOPE or visit rainn.org. That's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by RAINN and this station.
Even before the pandemic, 1 in 5 American adults experience some form of mental illness, depression, suicide, prescription opioid misuse. Utah isn't immune to our share of challenges, but there is hope. We need to take action to keep our loved ones safe. That's why KSL has teamed with the University of Utah Huntsman Mental Health Institute to bring you hope and help you thrive. It's Healthy Mind Matters. Find out more at healthymindmatters.com.
KSL News Time, just about 8:59. Time for a look at traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. Brought to you by Granite Credit Union's High Yield Savings Certificate. That bottleneck coming into the city this morning, Heather, caught me by surprise, and I guess it's really caused even more problems now on northbound I-15.
Yeah, as more and more traffic is getting onto the roadway, northbound I-15 trying to get into Salt Lake City, the exit ramp at 600 South only has 2 left lanes open, so it's backing up the 2 lanes that feed into that exit ramp, and it's backed up almost to 2100 South now. So you definitely want to try to take a different exit, but whether you stay on I-15 or exit at 2100 South and work your way the rest of the way into the city, it's going to take 10 to 15 extra minutes. Eric.
In Utah County, we're still looking good on I-15 northbound from Spanish Fork and Springville all the way up to Lehigh endpoint of the mountain. That's about a 24-minute drive if you're going to do that whole stretch. Geneva Road starting to get busy on the west side of the freeway in the Orem Vineyard area. And we do have a little bit of slowdowns on Mount View Corridor heading north away from SR 73 as you head up towards Redwood Road, and that's where it turns into 2100 North. But from Redwood over to the freeway, unlike many days, it's not as bad there getting over to I-15 in Utah County. Get the Intermountain West Contractors Advantage. Quality, speed, value for your money, and use code RADIO1000 to get $1,000 off a roof replacement now. Visit